Clive Palmer is going to do a deal with the Liberals. He's, up until now, up until today, I believe, and it's my opinion and I'm entitled to it, and it's the opinion of a few other people that I had a meeting with, I believe Clive Palmer doesn't want to win the election. Because what happened on Saturday at the protest? Clive stayed quiet and Kelly stayed quiet. They want to protect the Australian people. They want to take care of the Australian people. Really? How do you condone such actions on the weekend? Why stay quiet? So this is what I believe their plan is. Boom, 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 boom. Clive Palmer and Craig Kelly do not want to win the election. They want to get enough votes to tell the Liberals that you can have our votes on one condition. Give me more land so I can mine. And the wonderful thing about it is they've done a beautiful show at Canberra telling you that they've aligned themselves with the Liberal Democrats. And then when the election is over, they'll come out and say, oh, we couldn't give our preference votes to the Liberal Democrats because they were deregistered and really they couldn't run in the election. Well, we better give our votes to the closest political party that has the closest policies to us and principles, and that's the Liberals. Sorry about that, guys. We really tried. So Clive gets more land. I've also found out that Clive has tried to sue the taxpayers, the Western Australian government, for billions of dollars, $60 billion, I heard. So much for loving your Australian people. Hey guys, hope you had a great day. It's Friday, so Friday's always a good day. A lot of people want to know what's going on. Had a lot of friends. My close friends know exactly what's going on. And I decided to stay quiet for the sake of seeing what's going to happen. For the sake of believing that sometimes it's better to shut your mouth for the sake of a greater cause. I'm not bitter. I'm not angry. I'm kind of relieved, actually. With that said, I want to make a formal apology to all of you. I want to apologize. In one way, I got sucked in, but in another way, I believe that at that period of time, that period in time, when it felt as though all hope was being lost, what I was telling you, I believe, gave you hope. And for that, I'm not sorry. For that, I'm glad I did it. For that, I'm glad I believed. For that period in time, I'm glad I believed. I'm glad I was sucked in, because it helped you hold the line. What am I talking about? As much as I don't want to tell you, I've always been honest and upfront and transparent. So I'm going to tell you. Me and the UAP, we've separated. A lot of things were happening that I believed that Craig Kelly, as much of a nice person that, I thought he was, he turned out to be just another politician. Everything he told me, And it wasn't anything to do with me. It was what we were talking about in general. We started off by saying, at my dining table. At my dining table. The whole thing was put together. And it was supposed to be a brand new political party. Without anybody else. And he said to me how hard it was to start a new political party with no funding. The infrastructure was so expensive. I said, okay, then let's sit down and discuss how we're going to make a new political party. And through it all, he kept saying how hard it was. We had dinner was over. A couple of weeks later, he was back at my house. We're having dinner again. And he told me that he's joined forces with Clive Palmer. And I asked him why. He said because it's easier and quicker to get this political party because we have no time. And I believed it. I believed it. I understood where he was coming from. Time wasn't on our side. The war had started against us, and it would have taken us forever to get the ammunition to fight this war. And he was done a deal with Clive Palmer. So I asked about that deal. What does Clive Palmer want in return? He said to me, nothing. He just wants a greater Australia. Now, I accepted that at the time, but I didn't accept it wholeheartedly. Nobody wants to do anything for nothing. Deep down, nobody does. I spoke to Clive Palmer myself, and I asked him, who's the leader of this party? He said, Craig Kelly. He said he was never going to go on any interviews. He never wanted to pull away from, he never wanted to be the front man anymore. He just wanted to be in the back, support the party, let it grow, and do everything. And again, I believed him. Then I start seeing him popping up on Channel 9, Channel 7, Channel 10. Oh no, Romeo, be careful. This bloke's a multi-billionaire. He might sue you. Oh well. If he's worth $5 billion and he wants to go after my, $1 million, that's what I'm worth, then good luck to him. He can have it. Honesty, to me, is worth more than anything else. And I thought to myself, after seeing him on Channel 7, Channel 9, Channel 10, popping up everywhere in Queensland, I said, hold on a minute, you told me you didn't want to be seen or known at the front of the UAP. I thought it was going to be Craig. Again, I didn't question it. I was talking to Craig a few weeks after that, and Craig said to me, I asked Craig, I said, who are we joining an alliance with? Where are our preference voting going? And he explained the preference system. You know, the first 6, and then it goes the first 3, and if the bottom 3 don't make it, they give their preferences to the next 3, and then whoever's left gets all the preferences. I said, okay, but who are we joining with? Why don't we join with One Nation? No, Mark Latham wants to stand alone. Mark Latham doesn't want to be part of it. Okay, but Mark Latham's in New South Wales. Why don't you talk to Pauline Hanson? We're in negotiations. Okay. I said to him, what about the Liberal Democrats? His reply to that was, Scott Morrison, 9 months ago, changed the rules, or in the courts it was changed that any political party with a similar name to a major party, can't run in the elections. I said, okay, so what's the problem with that? He said, something to do with along the lines about the Liberal Democrats don't having enough time to change their name, therefore we can't get their preference and they can't get ours. And again, I believed him. So I looked it up, and lo and behold, there it was, decided by a judge that the Liberal Democrats' name is too close to the Liberals, and therefore either they change their name or they were deregistered. It's there apparently in the court hearings. I said, okay, well, that's true. We can't have the Liberal Democrats on our side. So who are we going to team up with? And I left it at that. All along, Craig's telling me how much money Clive Palmer has and how, his private jet and all this kind of wonderful stuff. Yeah, hip hip hooray, everything's, off we are, we're going to rescue Australia. And then I started to realise, hold on a minute, this fish stinks. But I spoke to a few people and I said to them, you know what? I think I'm going to get shafted. I think Craig's going to use me, him and Clive, to build this party up, and then they're going to give me a big fucking kick right up the arse and boot me straight across Australia. They said, Romeo, you need to expose it. I said, hold on a minute. It's not about me. It's about the Australian people. If we can build a political party and Craig Kelly can stay honest and true and stick to his word, then so be it. I've done my job. And I accepted that. I used to ring Craig and tell him, Craig, I've got a bloke, his wife's sick. I think maybe it would be good if you call. I got his number, give him a call, check up on him. Yeah, he would never call. I got a bloke with a 13-year-old daughter with leukemia at the Royal Prince Alfred Hospital. He reached out to me, he said, mate, I really need to speak to Craig. They're putting the pressure on us. I said, no worries. So I called Craig, then I called Craig again, then I called Craig again, and all I hear is, yeah, I will. You know who called that bloke? Ricardo Bosie. Ricardo called him, check up on him and his family. I said to myself, you know what, Craig? I'm busting myself trying to lift you up, and you just don't seem to understand the position you're in. Then 2 weeks ago, and this is when I knew it's all a fucking lie, it's a setup, and I've been sucked in, and I've led the Australian people down the wrong track, and it's my fucking fault. It's all my fault. It's all my fault. I pushed the agenda. I gave it all. I pushed the UAP like nobody else. You know how I found out? I see Craig Kelly and Clive Palmer, one in Queensland and one in Canberra, standing there with the Liberal Democrats, announcing their allegiance to each other. And I thought to myself, you bastard, didn't you tell me that the Liberal Democrats are unable to form an alliance with you because they have the same name and you can't do it? They're still called the Liberal Democrats. So then I had an emergency meeting and I sat down with people. And this is the truth. I believe Clive Palmer is going to do a deal with the Liberals. He's, up until today, I believe, and it's my opinion and I'm entitled to it, and it's the opinion of a few other people that I had a meeting with, I believe Clive Palmer doesn't want to win the election. Because what happened on Saturday at the protest? Clive stayed quiet and Kelly stayed quiet. They want to protect the Australian people. They want to take care of the Australian people. Really? How do you condone such actions on the weekend? Why stay quiet? So this is what I believe their plan is. Boom, 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 boom. Clive Palmer and Craig Kelly do not want to win the election. They want to get enough votes to tell the Liberals that you can have our votes on one condition. Give me more land so I can mine. And the wonderful thing about it is they've done a beautiful show at Canberra telling you that they've aligned themselves with the Liberal Democrats. And then when the election is over, they'll come out and say, oh, we couldn't give our preference votes to the Liberal Democrats because they were deregistered and really they couldn't run in the election. Well, we better give our votes to the closest political party that has the closest policies to us and principles, and that's the Liberals. Sorry about that, guys. We really tried. So Clive gets more land. I've also found out that Clive has tried to sue the taxpayers, the Western Australian government, for billions of dollars, $60 billion, I heard. So much for loving your Australian people. Is Clive and Craig going to come after me now? 100%. 100%. They are going to put my name in the dirt. It's their job. It's what they do. I couldn't stay quiet. I would not toe the line, nor would I be bought. So now I tell you exactly what they're going to do. They're going to come out and tell you that I left them because they refused to pay me. To a degree, that's true. You can't get more honest than that. I'll tell you why. To agree, that's true. I said to Craig, I've lost my job. I am promoting the UAP as hard as I possibly can. And it's in text messages. So the proof is there. I said, Craig, I've lost my job. I'm pushing the UAP as hard as I can. Every one of you is getting paid. Except me. I've got a family to support. Yes, Romeo, I'll speak to Clive about helping you. Can I get a job? Can you give me something to do? I've got to make money. Yes, Romeo, I'll speak to Clive. And that went on for 6 weeks. Then I told Craig that I was starting up a podcast and all that kind of stuff. And if you'd like to promote the UAP through the podcast, we've got contracts. I'll send you a contract. So we sent off about 16 contracts. Till this day, Craig Kelly has not opened up the contract. We sent it to 15 others, and out of the 15, we got 4. The guys that are working for me, of course, got to get paid. Out of the 4, it wasn't enough to pay these people. So again, they said to me, Romeo, I think we're going to have to go to donations. I said, I don't want to go to donations. I don't want to ask Australian people for money. Craig Kelly should have backed me. These people should have backed me. Nobody did. Only 4 out of the 16 that said they were. They're going to come after me now. And I don't give a shit. That's the truth. Craig Kelly, you broke my heart. You betrayed me. I told you I'll be loyal to you if you stay loyal to the Australian people. But at the end of the day, you can... Even a snake handler gets bitten by a snake sometimes, don't you think? At the end of the day, guys, I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I'm sorry for believing that somebody could change. I'm sorry for believing that somebody could build something for the betterment of Australia. At the end of the day, when a billionaire says to you, I am willing to pay all costs if you take Facebook to court and you are not liable to pay any money back to me, that person isn't doing you a favor. That person just bought you. And when I found that out, Yeah, I knew who the real person was in charge of the UAP. So, Craig, well played, my friend. Well played. But guess what? 85,000 members. I promise you one thing. I helped you build it. 85,000 members, and you're still not going to win an election. I promise you that. The way out of this, guys, is in the federal election, vote independence. Get every single political party out. Vote Ricardo Bosi, because guess what? While one politician that tells you he's going to help you be free eats caviar and lobster, Ricardo Bosi's gone from eating caviar to eating rice and onions. So who would you rather be with in the trenches? Somebody who's dodged bullets for a living, or somebody that's told you that he's dodged bullets for a living? God bless you all. God bless Australia. Put this to bed from the deepest areas of my heart. I'm sorry. I was severely, severely sucked in, and I believed. God bless you all. God bless Australia. Remember one thing. Honesty is always the best policy. Even if it's going to hurt you. Always be honest.